It's my feel-good breakfast show.
After a fun-filled and relaxing holiday, it can sometimes be very difficult to get back into the swing of things and adapt to the new year. In fact, for many people, this can lead to depression and the possibility of a relapse into old and dangerous habits such as alcohol and substance abuse, making it the more difficult to cope. Now, with us in studio to give us some tips on how to beat the New Year blues is counseling psychologist Tamron Coates. Good morning, Tamron. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Kakleko. Thanks for having me.
Now, it's quite a weird thing to think about that after coming out of that stage where you just had the best fun of the year, that some people do go into a depressive state. So why does this happen?
Yeah, I think there's two streams of thought around this. One is that sometimes people are depressed right from the beginning of the festive season because they've idealized the perception of Christmas and what Christmas brings, the perfect family, the perfect gift, the perfect holiday. And so when their reality meets that and it's not exactly the same, that can cause a depressive period. For other groups of people, they've had the most wonderful time with good family and they've had a good holiday. And suddenly that comes to a grinding halt when they met with the challenges that the new year brings, perhaps a new job or a new transition, perhaps no job, or the financial strain that December has caused them.
Yeah. So how do I know if, let's say, I'm a family member witnessing somebody going through these kind of depressive states, or I am a person suffering from it? Because I feel like I'm not completely okay, but I'm not quite sure. What are the telltale signs?
The telltale signs are really quite easy to pick up, and so it's good to be looking out for them in yourselves and with others.
Yeah.
They are things like withdrawing from social activity, so not wanting to attend functions, getting irritable at small things that maybe ordinarily wouldn't irritate you, so traffic or lines in the grocery store. They are feeling quite tearful or quite angry sometimes, often a sense of sadness, but you can't place why you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
So you just have this overwhelming sense of sadness, difficulty with concentration, a sense of worthlessness or having no hope in the future. So looking at 2015 and thinking, I've got nothing to look forward to here, I'd rather not be here. Thoughts of suicide. And as well as changes in eating and sleeping habits as well are pretty good signs to be looking out for.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, then a very important topic because this can be quite life-threatening, as you've just put out. So who is it most at risk? Are there people that are particularly at risk, and what are those triggering things that one should look out for and possibly avoid?
Yes, there are people that are more at risk. People maybe that have got big transitions happening at the start of the year. So if you're walking into 2015 unemployed, that can be quite a depressing situation to be in. So those people would be at risk. People that have had very difficult 2014s where they might have lost a loved one or had loved ones move away, and so they're facing 2015 thinking, I'm doing this alone, and how am I going to survive this year without their significant person? Those people are more at risk. People that have a predisposition to depression, people that are drinking a lot or taking substances are more at risk, and so those are kind of the risk factors that you're looking out for all the time.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, I mean, the triggering factors, if you've had a very difficult year, you've lost a significant one. But let's talk about treatment then. I mean, how do I, let's say, help someone who's going through that, and if I don't have someone to help me, how do I help myself?
Absolutely. So treatment can be many different types of treatment. There can be group therapy, individual therapy. You can phone emergency lines. The Expresso clinics are open around the country and they offer individual therapy and group therapy. And really you want to go somewhere where people can hear how you're feeling and be compassionate and walk with you in this journey. Having even a friend who can help you set very simple, clear-cut goals for 2015 that are realistic, I think is very important as well. Often we set goals that are quite idealized, and then we sit at the end of the year thinking, I'm a failure because I didn't achieve those goals. So if you want to find someone, whether it's a therapist or a friend or someone that you trust, that can really just help you walk through this period and potentially the whole year, hearing where you're at and helping you understand your negative emotions and give you good coping mechanisms to get through them.
And what I also understand is that for people that are suffering from depression, it's particularly difficult for them to kind of have that motivation to take that first step. So like I was saying, if I'm the person that's trying to help, let's say, a friend or a family member that's going through this, what's the right kind of approach?
Yes, it can be very difficult. It's quite overwhelming to start in therapy. So I think if you were the friend, just a very gentle observation. I've noticed that you don't seem yourself at the moment and I'm wondering what's going on. Or I noticed that you are consuming a lot of alcohol and I'm wondering if maybe you're covering up for something else. How can I sit with you and talk through this? You don't want to approach someone thinking or judging them, thinking that you have the right answers for them. You first want to kind of watch, wait and wonder. So you watch their you observe or watch their behavior, behavior, you wait and think about it, and then you wonder with them around the root causes of that.
Wow. Some very valuable advice, Tamron. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Such a pleasure, thank
Oh,
you.
there you have it. So in the event of a psychological crisis that you might be encountering or know of someone who might be going through it, please call 0861 435787 for assistance. And I think most importantly, also remember that you are not alone.